Hello, Ryan here, aka Ari Rath, and welcome back to, not day 5, but episode 5. Now, when we last left off, I had finally accomplished a pretty decent mining session where we managed to get about 30,000's worth of, no, not 30,000, I think it was 18, 20,000 worth of minables. Now, unfortunately, I did jump in earlier today, and if I can show you this map, I basically went off to Edmund. I set off to Edmund from Lorville Gate 1, and it did not go well. Well, actually, I got about halfway. It took me an hour and a half. I got about halfway. There is a lot of scrapyards out that way, and it makes it very difficult to navigate, because it takes forever to navigate through them. There are ways to get through, but yeah, they're not easy. So and then I 30k'd. I got halfway there, and actually over halfway. There was about 29 kilometers left to go, and then we 30k'd. So I decided that doing something like that right now, going that distance right now, when 30k's are somewhat rife, or potentially rife, let's say, it's not worth the risk. So instead, what I'm going to do is head out to this canyon near where the cave is. Not necessarily the cave. This is more of a bit of recon than anything. This isn't a let's go and make money. This is a let's go and see where this ruin is. As you can see, ruins number 6 is somewhat in between Lorville and the cave. Now, the difficulty, as I mentioned in previous episodes, is getting up the other side of the canyon because it is very steep. So this is more of a, let's just check out the terrain. While we've got a bit of daylight, we're going to use up as much daylight as possible to figure this out and see what a good direction could be to get to that area. And in the meantime, if we do see any ships lying around, I will salvage them. Or at least scrape the hulls. Hopefully we see something. Gives us some way of making a bit of cash. But yeah, that's not up to me. That is dependable on whether a ship has gone down in this area. But I figured this is the best way to do this, is before I just go off and try driving somewhere for the first time, which is what I did with Edmund, which didn't go well. Instead of doing that, spend a bit of time to reconnaissance the area, figure out what the terrain is like, figure out, I mean, it's a bit difficult to do it to Edmund. I think what I'll do with Edmund is just leave that until I have my power plant and coolers. I don't need necessarily the shield generators. I can get there without the quantum drive. But on a vehicle, a ground vehicle, it is just too much messing around trying to navigate through those scrapyards. And I kept getting turned around. It was in the dark as well. You cannot get there without the day-night cycle. It's so far away that you're going to end up going through the night time at some point. And then you've got to come back. Whew, not a chance. So what I'm going to do is head out and see if I can figure out where ruin number 6 is. See if I can find a good path to get to it. So let's just head up this little side of the cliff here, because it's a bit easier. Obviously, I could always... I know a lot of people are suggesting I just rent a ship and go fly to Edmund or go fly somewhere else, but the point of this playthrough is that there is no ship. I have to get the components to get my ship flyable before I use or even contemplate using a ship. That is just an enforced rule that I have set for myself. You don't need to follow that rule. Of course, you can do it however you like. I just know that the minute I get a ship, the speed at which you can make cash is massive. You can go off and do all sorts of things and make a lot of money. I like the slow-paced exploration, finding out new things that I wouldn't necessarily know, and seeing what it's like to just not have a vehicle. Because technically in the verse, in the lore of the verse, ships are like cars. A lot of people have them, but not everybody. So there are many residents, many citizens who don't actually own a ship. So it's not as simple as just jumping in a vehicle and going for a lot of people. And I'm kind of acting as one of those people, if that makes sense. But the canyon, oh, wee! That was a bit of a stunt. The canyon is just over in that direction, crotch direction. This way, I believe. We've kind of got turned around there. And I'm going to sit up high and see if I can see where it is for this ruin. Because whenever we go to the cave, you'll often notice, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, that a cutlass pops in. An enemy NPC cutlass pops in. That is the cutlass that protects and lands at that outpost, that ruin settlement, or whatever it is, the ruins where the NPCs reside. Now, I don't know, I think they do, but I don't know if they will shoot at players in ground vehicles. They have done in the past when I was on a dragonfly around Daymar, but that's a different type of NPC, so I don't know if they'll do it this time. So we've got to be very cautious about getting close to it in this vehicle, because I really don't want to get shot at, because there's no way for me to really win in that regard. But there's the CDB. Now, it's off in this direction somewhere, kind of around here. Very, very vague area of operation as such, which is huge when you're on a ground vehicle, but that looks like an alright place to sort of navigate up the hill, maybe around there. Although I'd rather not have to go that far. Let's just get up this hill here and see what we can see. Right, let's do this recce. So, didn't take long to come out here. Pardon me. Didn't take long to come out here. We have the CDB there. Just keeping an eye out for any ships dotted around. It's a very cool place, though, is this area. I do love coming out Lorville 6 and seeing this spot. Oh, the plants are physicalized when you're on foot. So I think it's sort of around that area, if I recall correctly. I could be completely way off, but that looks like a potential way up. A bit bumpy and rocky. That looks quite steep, but likely doable to get up to there. But again, I don't know if that's exactly where it is, so it might require a bit of driving around, memorizing this. Because I'm pretty sure it's off this corner of the CDB. You fly off in this direction, sort of diagonally from the building. It could equally be that further hill, or that further hill. Things are a lot further away than they seem. Let's get driving. We've still got a bit more daylight. I don't mind driving back in the dark, because I know I can get my way back to Lorville City quite easy from this angle, from this side. It's just in the daylight trying to find these places. You need to have that sunlight. But the benefit of hitting up this type of place, this ruin, is that you have 9 tails there, so armor is abundant. That can be sold. I don't know how much I can store in my Cyclone. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that you can steal the cutlass, and that is true. If the cutlass lands and the back door opens and you have enough time to get to them and shoot the enemy in the back of the cutlass, then get inside and kill the, here we go, kill the pilot, you can take control of it. And that would be quite helpful for transporting a lot more gear to Lorville. But there is a lot of risk that comes with that. Firstly, I'd need to get myself a rifle, so I'd need to take out one of the NPCs close by to allow myself to pick up their rifle and ammunition, which isn't too difficult. It really depends on the server and how they're performing. Sometimes they can be completely mindless, other times they can be almost godlike. There are some more behaviors. Oh boy, hopefully we can flip over from this. Yeah, good. Which isn't going to be the difficulty, really. It's just if... okay, we can't go up that way. This way here. The difficulty is going to be it not flying away, or it landing where landing on it on another cutlass, another enemy cutlass that landed before. It'll be interesting to see how this flows, but that is a potential, and if I can do it, I will. But it really requires a lot of luck, I suppose, with the cutlass staying put, not getting shot. I'm not too bad at FPS, but it, you know, a lot of it is a luck game. I think we're going to have to go down this level anyway, which is, I think is where we're heading. Yeah, let's go down here, because that rock right in the middle of the path is not going to be easy to navigate around. We are running out of daylight, so let's try and push on. Trying to get up that side of the canyon, see if there's an easier way up there. We'll head up through that little pass. See if we can navigate up the hillside around there somewhere. But yeah, no derelict ships in here. And it will be nice once the armistice zones don't artificially stop you from drawing your tools or weapons, and we're able to scavenge things off of ships that around the racetracks, for example. Which, if you are looking to find some ships to loot, hit up all the racetracks. Not necessarily the Lawville one, because you can't use your tool there, because you're in an armistice zone. But all the rest, I have found multiple ships where players will drive their racing ships, because a lot of them don't have, like the Merlin doesn't have a quantum drive. So they have to rely on other ships to drive to get their racing ships to the location. And if they suffer an attack or a 30k or whatever, or just quit, you can often find some pretty decent stuff there. I have stumbled upon constellations, taking those weapons. You need a bit of a cargo hold to get them in, though. Right, we're making good progress here. I think we're still way off in terms of distance to where the ruin is. See if we can get up this hill with a bit of speed. Not hitting the rock, preferably. No sign of that enemy cutlass. I would have thought I would have stumbled upon it by now, which makes me think it's maybe over there a bit more. Oh, because I always see it when I'm making my way to the cave. Where's the CDB? That's the question. So you can use the map to somewhat navigate. It isn't easy. We do need this new map. But if you sort of click on Lawville, we're 20 kilometers away from Lawville, which does tell me that we are very close to where this place is. In terms of distance, we are the exact distance away from Lawville. So maybe it is over this way. Oh, there's the CDB. Okay, yeah, we're quite a way off actually in terms of angle. It is more this way. When I look back at the CDB, I am a much more of a harsher angle than a sort of a side angle. And it is at the top of a hill, which I'm hoping it's this one in front of us. Because not always do the enemy cutlass spawn in. They're not always there. Or maybe there's a delay to them if they've been taken out. I don't really know, but I know the hill to get to it is a very difficult, awkward hill, so I don't think it's this one. This seems a little too shallow. Let me just try and find a better path up. At least we'll get a good perspective from up here. But 319.1 means that the NPCs shouldn't be spawning in abundance. Yeah, this isn't it. Yeah, it's more off in the direction that my crosshair is in. Still a little further on, I believe. The desire to find it is pushing me on. Still have a bit of daylight. Not much, but it's still there, so let's keep utilizing that while we have the opportunity. As soon as it gets too dark to really see where I'm going, or to see the landscape, I'll make my way back. I think we still need to push this way a little bit. Could be that hill, actually. There, where my... well, it's a bit of a trek. Oh, that one's not physical. Excellent. Let's push through it. Hopefully it's not over there, because it's a bit of a way. I don't think it is. Ah, what's that? There's the Cutlass Black. That's the guy. That's the enemy. We must be getting close. Let's just keep an eye on him, see if he starts coming closer. I don't know what he's going to do. If he sees me, I'm assuming he might even come after me, but I don't know. So where is this settlement? Oh boy, he is getting closer. Where's he going? Is it over there? Yeah, that must be the hillside. He's going into land. Okay. We found it. So this was just a part of the journey to get to there. The rest of the journey takes me over in that direction, which has some pretty rough terrain to get through. We've got a deep canyon there, and then it goes, like, he's just landed on top of that mountainside. That's where the outpost is. Might be worth just heading into this canyon here somehow. See if I can get a visual of where we were, where we've come from, because it's a bit of a trek. So we've sort of come out the gate here. If I can just head straight along this way, navigating up and down, and then getting into this canyon. Quite a visually iconic hillside, that. I don't think we're going to struggle to see that once we get into the location. But drive down there and then somehow get ourselves back up. It's going to have to be over here that we sort of use this hillside here to get up and then drive along there. It's going to take some time, but I feel like the reward will be worth it, provided we don't get completely destroyed. Anyway, we best make our way back. But that's interesting. That is a long way. And Gate 6 is the closest to it. Gate 1 wouldn't suffice, I'm afraid, because that would require coming all the way out there and then going around there, where, you know, it's on this side of the CDB. Whew. It's going to be a bit of a recording session, that. Hang on, he's taking off. There's some level of details for you. The engines aren't in yet. Okay, so, interesting. Let me head back. We now know the direction we need to go in. It is not going to be an easy ride. Why is he going over the top of me? Hopefully he's not coming after me. Gonna get out of here. I haven't got time today to get there and back. It is going to be another day. Unfortunately, today wasn't a money-making day, but there you go. Some days they are like that. This was more of a, let's see if we can do a bit of reconnaissance. See where that outpost is, that ruined outpost. The next time we come back, we're going to try and get to that place and see if we can loot the hell out of it. It may take a bit of time to get there, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. Hopefully we have a bit more luck next time and no 30Ks. We'll see. We can potentially get ourselves equipped with some pretty decent gear if we do hit up that location. But we'll see how easy that goes. Anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want to continue on with these Ari Rath series of the hardcore Zero to Hero without a ship. We are slowly earning our way up to the first component. I want to get both components from Everest Harbour, I think it is. But we're getting there. Do head over to twitch.tv/supermacbrother. We are going to be picking up our mining sessions from the refinery, getting them sold off, continuing on exploring a bit of mining with the prospect of seeing what that all involves now that it's been updated. Hit the like button if you don't mind. It does do the channel a big favour. Tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.